All right, here we go. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. So this guy started it, and here's what he said. Read that. It oppresses black people, right? It's bigger than football. Oppresses black people. And we're talking about violence. This initially emerged as a result of violence against black people, killing black people, okay? Go to the next slide. What's it take? This is from just last week in St. Louis. Protests that arose as a result of the plea of police killing a young black man who was running from them, and they were driving away from them, and where all sorts of things happened, but the police officer got off. And so people went out into the street. And so the question is, what's it take to get people out into the street?
I think it takes just killing, when they realize their own people or their own kind is getting shot or getting killed or being oppressed by the cops. That's when it just takes them this is just it. I have to protest.
I have to protest. It's done.
Yeah.
Something happens, something I see, it's done, I'm out, I'm in the streets. So let's look at the data, because I see signs like this. Police must stop shooting us. It's a genocide. I was going to put a sign up and I didn't take it down. Someone had a sign that said, it's a genocide of black people. Right? Genocide of black people, okay? So we're going to look at the data here. Go to the next one. People were killed by the police in 2016. How many people were killed by the police in 2016? What do you think?
I don't want to guess because I got it so wrong last time.
No, that's okay. No, guess. That's what this is about.
I'm going to say 1,000.
This is all people.
It's all people?
All people.
Wow. I think 1,000 too.
What do you all think? What do you think? Come up with a number. Say it to the person next to you. What do you think? Dude, what do you think? 500?
I don't know. I'm just I just always
What do you think, bro?
1,000 kind of
What's that? 200-300? What do you think? How much?
it was last time. 1,500 to 144, okay.
All right, here we go. 2016, 963.
Got it.
Okay?
Right.
You both nailed it.
Yeah.
You're good. Okay. And who are these people? What's their background? Right? Who are the people that got killed? Of 963, how many do you think were black?
I would say about 600 will be black.
600.
And then the rest will be maybe Hispanic.
600 were black. What would you say?
Probably 500.
How many were black? Turn to the person next to you. Come up with a number. What do you say, bro? 300?
47%.
Love guessing.
Dude, how many?
I hate feeling stupid.
I know.
557.
Dude, how many? All right, you ready? Next one. Okay, so here we go.
I'm surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're off, right? If you're, what do you think about that number?
This is actually kind of surprising. I honestly thought it would be more black people because they show more black people getting I know they make it seem like black people are always getting killed by the cops more than.
It's as high.
That's all I see in media, on Twitter. I only seen one video of a white guy getting shot 7 times, but that was just a couple days ago. Apart from that.
What would you say?
I find that kind of surprising too, but I agree. I see more media showing black people getting killed by police than white people, so it's probably just in my mind, since I see it more, then it happens more.
Okay, so go to the next one. So here's U.S. population by ancestry, okay? So here we are, 63 right now, in mid-2016, 63% white, 17% Hispanic Latino. You see the numbers, right? So let's break this down and what we're talking about. Next slide. So here's the likelihood of being killed by the police. This is not, if you're doing illegal activity, this is just breaking it down. So you have 1 in 250,000 for black people. White people, clearly you're less likely to be killed if you're white. And are those numbers large? Are those numbers large to you?
Yeah.
They are?
What will you, like,
Is 1 in 250,000, is that high?
no. It's, I don't.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I don't really know. Like, it's a lot, like that ratio is a lot different than the rest.
Okay, hang on.
Like,
Okay, why don't you answer it in the same way that you answered the other question?
it depends.
Yeah. I asked you the same question. Is that high?
I know, yeah, no. It's not high, but it still does depend on the situation. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, hang on. I'll help you, though. No, I'm not trying to trap you, by the way.
Okay.
The same answer flies
Yeah.
here. Because it just depends. It's high. It's still 1 out of 250,000 is still high.
Yeah.
1 out of 250 million is high. If you're that one person, and if that's your family, like if that's someone in your family, doesn't matter if it's 1 out of 250 million. It matters. If your father's the only police officer that's hurt in the line of duty in all of the next 10 years, that's still too high. It's still unacceptable to you, right? What do you think about the number, 1 in 250,000?
I actually think I don't know. I think that's pretty high just because it's like a person, no matter like every life matters. So like, I think 1 out of 250,000 is like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, but listen, can I throw something at you now?
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't talked about what people were doing who were killed by the police, right? So if I'm a criminal and I'm trying to shoot her father, and then her father's partner, somebody shoots me, then that's not a high number. That 1 in 250,000, I was trying to kill somebody and I got shot in the process. So that's not inherently a problem. It's either I kill this innocent person, like if I'm going to try to kill you, let's say, right? And somebody shoots me, you're like, thank God you shot that knucklehead, right?
Yeah.
So right now, these numbers don't really mean a lot. Are we cool? They don't really mean a lot because we don't know what they are. So we can say, well, yeah, look, it's 1 in 250. Well, clearly, black people are more likely to get killed. Well, maybe black people are doing more things to provoke the police. So, like, we don't know that. We really don't know yet. So we got to go further. You see, like, you got to keep going further. Are you there? Are you following me?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, man. Are we cool? Got it? This is a thinking class right now. I'm walking you through some thinking. Okay, go to the next one. So 233 black people were killed by the police in 2016 out of a population of 39 million. Okay? How would you answer that young man's question? Am I next? How would you answer his question?
I would honestly say yes, because I just feel like, I don't know, like I feel like it's harder being a black male.
No, but what do you mean?
Like,
He's saying, am I next?
Yeah.
Am I next? You're saying, yes, you are next?
I mean, like, not like, I mean, like, he better watch out the things he does.
Okay, got ya.
because, yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah, just
You're-
watch out because, like, he's kind of like a target, you know? His appearance, he looks like a typical black male, so.
Okay, so if he's holding a sign and then I'm holding the sign, or like, I don't know, somebody else who looks more like him, a white guy and that dude over there who looks like a hippie, right, in the front row. If that dude's holding a sign, you're going to say, yeah, this guy, you should watch your back more than that guy.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I think that opinion does make sense. Like, I agree with the, like, watch your back thing, but also, like, watch the situations you get yourself into as well. You know what I, like, if you're in a more dangerous situation, then more can go wrong than if you're not. But I do agree that, like, if a white guy was holding that sign, it would be more likely for the black guy to
Got
have
you.
to be more in danger of getting hurt than the white guy.
Okay. All right, let's go one more. Are we cool? Is everyone following here? Are we good? Okay, we're going to go one more. Ready? So how many of the 963 people were unarmed? This is what we're talking about here, right? Remember the story? It's like if I got a gun to the two of you, right? Like I have a gun to your heads. That's very different than if I'm just like walking up next to you or behind you and somebody sees me and shoots me because they think I'm going to do harm to you, right? It's like very different. If I have a weapon, if I don't have, if I say, hey, I'm going to kill these two people and I'm standing here and I have no weapon on me, I have nothing, and the police shoot me anyway, it's very different than if I'm standing here with a knife saying I'm going to kill these two people. Okay, are we good with that? So how many of the 963 people were unarmed? How many do you think were unarmed? Of the 963. What do you think? Unarmed. 963. We're talking white people. How many do you all think? Turn to the person next to you. What do you think? How many of the 963 were unarmed? Okay, here we go. Go to the next slide. So here are the numbers. This was the most comprehensive analysis of the data done by a research team at the Washington Post. It's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty accurate. So 69 unknown, but unknown enough that they didn't throw them in the unarmed category. So you assume that the likelihood of being unarmed is equal percentage-wise, ratio-wise to the other. In a vehicle, can we be clear about a vehicle? That's a vehicle trying to run over police. Toy guns, a lot of those people, of course, were committing suicide in all likelihood because that seems to be a form. What do you think about that number? Hang on, can I ask you first? What do you think about that number? You said 600.
I said 550.
500, and you said 400 were unarmed. You said 500 were unarmed. What do you think about that number?
I'm actually kind of like shocked. I honestly thought like, I'm not saying like the media, like, I don't know, they just made it seem like, the guy was innocent, he was just trying to go about his way. But I don't know, like I don't know the numbers they took or the guys they took it from or whatever. But I just think it's just crazy how 517 had a gun. I would think it would be less than that.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest,
yeah, so you certainly think it would be more.
Way
especially
less than
given
that.
what you just said about looking at your Twitter feed and
Yeah.
Facebook and social media and so on, right?
I mean, well, like we know like the media just exaggerates everything, so I guess not to pay attention to it.
What do you think about the number?
I'm actually pretty surprised by it too, but when I think about it more, I guess like since the media does portray more of those stories where the person is unarmed, so again, like it makes me think that there are more cases of unarmed things, but clearly there's not.
So 22 out of 233 black people who police killed in 2016 were unarmed. 22 out of 233. Okay? So now the question is, so that means you have a 0.6 chance in a million. 0.6 chance, about half of 1% in a million of being unarmed, black skin, and killed by the police. So now, when you answer that guy's question, am I next? What would be your answer to that question?
22 out of 233 black people, I think that's a lot.
Go with the
So,
bottom one.
At the bottom?
0.6 out of a million. If he stays unarmed, you say, bro, listen, in spite of how you're dressed, in spite of who you are, if you remain unarmed, right, that's the likelihood of you being killed by the police.
I think it's a lot because even 0.1 would be a lot to me.
So it goes back to
And-
what
Yeah.
Brianna said. Brianna, right? Brenna?
Yeah.
what Brenna said. It's like it's still to that one family, it matters. Okay, and so what I'm going to say to the two of you is, look, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? It's like it just depends. We can argue that that's a high number. We can argue that's a low number. We can argue it's exaggerated. We can argue like, no, man, it's not exaggerated. It's still really high. Like, what is it? You can make the argument in lots of different directions. But what I want to say is, look, if we're going to make the arguments and if we're going to get involved in protests, like, can you go to the next slide, bro? No, hang on, go to one more. That, if you're going to protest like that, but this whole thing is based on police violence against black and brown people. So if you're going to protest, really step out in this way, you got to know what you're protesting. It's really important to understand what it is. You know what I mean? Is it like 600 unarmed people, or is it, hang on, 42 or 48, or like what are we looking at here? Like, is it a genocide? So when I see someone holding a sign up that says, "Stop the genocide of black people," at a protest, and I'm saying, go back, can you go back 2 slides? I wouldn't call that a genocide. There's a lot happening here, but that's not what I would call it. And so for me, as someone who's talking about race relations, who sees these things from lots of perspectives, it's really important that we know what we're talking about so that we can be confident and have realistic and good conversations. Because I agree with you. I mean, yeah, it's still high. And yet, it's not what most people think. If I took a microphone, if I went to that protest in St. Louis last week and I walked around with the microphone and I started asking people, hey man, how many people was it last year? How many people? And each one of those, and even the people who were armed, it doesn't matter, it's a life, right? But if I start asking that question, people are going to give me these really, really high answers. I'm sure 5,000, 8,000, I have no idea. It's like, no man, that's not bringing us where we need to go. Okay?